Hey, and welcome back to my Calamity Summoner playthrough. Continuing off the last video, we made even more of a progression. Now just a reminder, if you do enjoy the content I make, don't forget to subscribe and like the video. There's more to come in the future. Now, a quick recap on what happened last episode. I managed to defeat the Eye of Cthulhu, Desert Scourge, and make my beginner magic storage system. I'm starting off fast. I had a couple of tasks I wanted to complete. I'm trying to beat the Eater of Worlds, Slime King, and start my way into making better weapons, armor, and equipment so I can get into hard mode as soon as possible. Now currently the summon I have isn't cutting it. The Wolfram controller is a great early hard mode summon, but now it's time for an upgrade. The next item I want to craft is called the Belladonna Spirit Staff, crafted using 4 vines, 5 jungle spores, 8 stingers, and 25 rich mahogany planks. It's quite a simple recipe to get a decent staff that will help me continue on in this playthrough. All of these which can be found in the jungle. I began making my way to the east, only to get a small message letting me know that slime is falling from the sky. And when I saw this, I knew I had to put my plans on hold. In case you don't know, after you kill 150 slimes during the slime rain, the king slime will spawn naturally. Now this only applies if you have never beaten him in the world. After you have slain the king slime, the number goes from 150 down to 75 slimes needing to be killed. So my plans have shifted. My thought process was, since I've already taken down the Eye of Cthulhu, then the king slime should be a piece of cake. There's only one issue with my thinking. So I grabbed some potions for when I take on the king slime. Then, out of nowhere, the goblin army decides to show up. Now I didn't think they were going to give me any trouble, but I was wrong about that. Fighting them off was no problem. The battle felt like I was in the right time frame of progression to deal with them. But what was soon to come after, I was not confident taking both of them on at the same time. Whether or not I thought I could win, I still gave it my all. Jumping and dodging all of the projectiles I could, I fought off the goblin army and slimes. And as expected, the king slime spawned, bringing my dream of victory to a short and sad death. Anyway, since it's October, enemies drop these goodie bags containing costumes you can wear on the character. And one of the costumes is a creeper suit. I thought it was kind of funny, so I wore it for a little bit. Okay, I feel like I was supposed to be making... Yes, I'm going to make the Belladonna Spirit Staff. Just as before, I headed to the jungle to get all of the materials needed to make the summon. I began killing all of the wasps and man-eaters I could find, while also breaking the jungle spores and rich mahogany trees. Now, surprisingly, getting the items to make this weapon wasn't that difficult. I also stumbled upon the goblin tinkerer going through the jungle. Shortly after I had all of the items, I went mining for a little bit, getting all of the life crystals I could, eventually bringing me up to the maximum hearts you can have in pre-hard mode. With everything I got from the mines, I dumped it into the magic storage and crafted my new summoning weapon. Now don't be fooled by the damage. This item may have low stats, but the DPS output makes up for it in the end. This staff has the ability to phase through solid walls while rapidly spitting out petals, inflicting a poison debuff to the enemy. On every 9th attack, it shoots out an even spread of 5 petals into the air. To add on top of that, I was able to craft the summon with the demonic modifier, giving me a 20% damage increase and a 5% critical strike chance boost. Now, using this staff made a huge difference when attacking enemies. I could feel that I was starting to move faster in my progression. So I had the idea to expand on my NPC apartment complex, so I didn't have to worry about whether or not I would have a place for another NPC to spawn. Now just like the last video, I still follow that Calamity video telling you where the best weapons, armor, and accessories to have based on what point you are in the game. You know what, I'm just going to leave a link to the video in the description so you can check it out. Just a little bit of free advertisement. Right after, I began my rope tower to the heavens, hoping to find fletchling wings and any other good accessories / weapons I could use. Almost instantly, I was able to get the wings. These are going to help me fight bosses and maneuver around with ease. I'm getting the feeling that this video might have a theme of me just exploring what's around me, because the next thing I did was headed off to the west and found a dungeon with a water candle right in the entrance, and further down I stumbled across a sulfur sea biome with the message, "A toxic downpour falls over the wasteland." Now, this wasn't too difficult of an event. All it took was my patience. After some time, I cleared the acid rain event. I went back home to make the boss summon for Crabulon, Calamity boss that you can spawn in the glowing mushroom biomes. I don't plan on facing him now, but we might get to him later in the video. You know, just maybe. You never know. However, I do want to take on the Eater of Worlds. I crafted a decent amount of campfires to give me a buff while fighting. Now here's a friendly little tip about taking on this boss. Naturally, the Corruption Underground is a very tight and narrow area that restricts movement to the player. Now this is not a good way to fight against this boss. What you need to do is try to either make or build around so you can have an open space allowing you to jump and dash, making you a more challenging target to hit. If you remember from last episode, I died pretty easily, but I wouldn't allow this to happen again. After setting up the arena, I wanted to make the worm food. Honestly, it's simpler compared to breaking all of the orbs you find in the Corruption. And plus, I've already destroyed a lot of them, so I was feeling a little bit lazy to go break any more. So I headed home to make the worm bait, but I did need a little more vile mushrooms. Before we get there, let's meet everyone in the neighborhood. I'm going to give you a quick summary of who they are, but if you want to understand them a little more, pause the video and read the text I have on screen for you. So here we have Lee, the architect. All he does is sell building blocks for you, which is honestly very helpful. Next up, we got Charlie, the jeweler. His name should be self-explanatory. Wait. Actually, no, all of their names are pretty self-explanatory. Anyway, he sells the gems. And this is Mario, our painter, who, you guessed it, sells paint. Right here we have Severus, the alchemist, giving health and mana potions and other things of that nature. After that, we have everybody's favorite, Marty the furry. The only thing I know about her is that she can sell pets and that she has a tail. You know what, on second thought, I think I'll just skip past these NPCs. I'll tell you about it more later. So I crafted an upgrade for my Hermes boots, and then I got the rest of the vile mushrooms to make worm bait. The next step for me to take is to summon the Eater of Worlds and take him on. Having the fletchling wings really did make a difference with fighting this boss. Being able to fly up and dodge his attacks is night and day when you want to win. I summoned him 2 more times, but dying on the 3rd battle. But it did give me all the resources I needed for an upgrade to my tools and weapon. With my victory, I was feeling pretty confident. I made the slime crown to summon the Slime King, spawning him in instantly, feeling no type of threat against him. And, as I expected, he wasn't any threat at all. Since I had a lot of Demonite, I crafted storage upgrades, bringing my magic storage system all the way up to a total of 720 open slots. Now, I was feeling pretty kill hungry, so I went down to the glowing mushroom biome to take on one more boss known as Crabulon. He was a pretty easy boss to fight, with sort of the same mechanics as the King Slime, only with a lot more projectiles. Thankfully, with the new summon I made, it practically melted Crabulon. After killing him and opening his bag, I got a summon accessory called the Fungal Clump, attaching itself to enemies and sucking the life out of them, transferring it to me. I was feeling pretty good with this pace that we're moving, and I can promise you that it should only get faster in the next episode. If you made it to the end, thank you. Remember, if you do find this entertaining and you do enjoy my content, don't forget to subscribe and like for more. I'll see you again in the next episode. Good night.